Welcome to MalcolmPresents.com with my favorite show host or co-host, Sid Mandelbaum. And Sid and Malcolm, I don't know what to say, good afternoon, good morning. To you,
It is late afternoon.
it's late afternoon, and to me, it's afternoon. But to the people watching the show, it could be anytime.
Anytime at all. In fact, it'll be getting dark fast.
Yeah.
As Yogi Berra would say, it's getting late early.
It's getting later. I hate this, by the way.
Oh, no.
I like it. I don't mind waking up when it's dark. In fact, one of my favorite times to start running, when I was, I'm not doing marathons now, but when I was training the marathon, I'd wake up at like about 5, 6 o'clock or get on the road at 5, 6 o'clock, and it was dark. And then after, a few miles, you see the sunrise, and it felt so good.
This morning was a busy day. I had to be up doing a food pickup, which I normally don't do at 7:30, and then dropping everything off, and then going to another pickup, both at Costco's, but two different Costco's. And then delivering everything, setting up a farmer's market. We had a farmer's market from 10 to 12. Then I had to drop off the rest of the turkeys for two organizations to prepare for us for Thursday's gigantic feast that we're having.
Okay, that's what you want. What are you doing Thursday?
So this is our 30th year of doing a Thanksgiving feast for anyone that wants to come and eat. We don't check papers. We don't ask any questions. They know where we are. If they're hungry, they'll take meals out. This year, they'll be able to eat in as well as take the clamshell meals out.
Is it a sit down, or can they eat by you now?
They could sit down and eat their takeout meal in a specific gym, part of the Five-Town Community Center, where we're going to set up 4 tables of 10 chairs each. And last year we didn't do this, but all the years previously, we would have anywhere from 80 to 100 people sit down and eat their meals, which were not takeouts. They would sit down and be served by our volunteer staff.
Yeah, years ago, I used to work with the Fred Jordan Mission. I don't know if you're familiar with them in Los Angeles. The two, LA Mission and Fred Jordan Mission, the two largest missions.
So our program has grown dramatically over the last 5 years. We went from about 500 plates that we needed to prepare to 1,000.
Wow.
And the amount of resources that are needed are actually more than that, because we need a lot more turkey carvers to prepare the birds that have been cooked for us. And then since we went to clamshells solely last year, we needed people to prepare clamshells.
What are clamshells?
Clamshells are styrofoam containers that close, that you could fill with 4 different compartments of food. And they're able to take those home. We also give them paper products, plastic knives, forks, and spoons, napkins, and we give them, on the plate is turkey, stuffing, sweet potato, and a green vegetable. We then also give them cranberry sauce in a small Ziploc bag, and we give them, if it's a family, a full pie or cake, and if they're individuals, we give them a slice of pie or cake.
Sounds delightful. Now, looking at the people, what type of people generally are going there? Are they single men or families?
No. These are mainly families. Or people that are picking up for families. The Five-Town Community Center supports 300 to 400 families per week with the food that I help generate. And for this event, we have a little bit larger group, because the church that we used to do this in, St. John Baptist Church of Oliver and Rockaway, last year, since we were not doing it at their building, I gave them 300 plates of food in, again, takeout containers. And this year I'm giving them 350 plates of food.
Oh, wow.
And they have people at their church that will wait for them to come back from the community center and give it out there.
Now, all the food is cooked, I take it,
All the food is prepared.
prepared.
So the turkeys are done by 5 different establishments that we've worked with over the years. One is a country club, Lawrence Country Club. We have a restaurant called Friendliers. We have a diner called Chateau. We have 2 pizza parlors, Friendlier Pizza and Anthony's Pizza. And then we have Dickey's Barbecue. And all of them are given by me a donation of 45 turkeys and 25 hams. And I break them up into the different capacities of each one. And they're all cooked today, tomorrow, Thursday early morning, and all brought to the community center to be stripped into large serving pieces that are sterno heated. And then we set up lines, 4 different tables, 4 people at a table that prepare the takeout meals.
You're making me hungry. My mouth is beginning to water.
Well, the interesting thing is that quite a number of agencies are closed on the weekends. So we also do a prepared pantry bag of a dozen items that they could eat over the weekend if they have needs.
What agencies are you talking about? What kind of agencies are you talking about?
Most pantries are closed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's
because
an
It's a holiday weekend.
but that's
But
that's an odd time for them to be closed.
Not really. They're open Thursdays.
Oh,
So they're open Thursday, which is Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
And they really can't, since most of them work with volunteer staffs, and this is a holiday weekend that people travel, it's very hard to get volunteers to work in these agencies. And you have to give your staff off, and they prepare so hard for Thursdays that most agencies are then closed over the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, but I was thinking they were closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they're open
No, no.
Thursday.
Thursday, they're open. That's the big day.
Mm.
That's the money day, as they say.
The money day. And where do you get your turkeys and food products?
Well, that's interesting. So we have a family, Edward and Michelle Schornstein, that for the last 11 years, they will buy all of the turkeys and hams that we need. This year, they increased it
Wow.
from 35 to 45 turkeys and from 10 to 20 hams. And it's between a $2,000 and $3,000 donation. And they do it every year for us.
Oh, nice folks.
The rest we pay for. Rock and Wrap It Up gets donations during the year. And so we got 12 huge boxes of stuffing. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Diane, my wife, and her friend Ellen will go to the community center that has a kitchen, and they will prepare these 12 large boxes of stuffing refrigerated overnight. So they won't have to do it Thursday morning.
Well, that's nice.
We have another group. We have these 2 sisters, Lynn and Anita, and they carve the hams, and they take the ham bones and they make a split pea soup
Ooh,
that we are able to give out as well.
love that. I love a nice thick split pea soup.
Yep, that's what they make. And we then have, we had a number of schools this year do collection of cans for our pantry bags, because we have 1,000 pantry bags and each one has 12 items in it. So we needed a lot of canned foods to go into those pantry bags.
Now, do you do this type of setup in the various centers that you have around the country?
No, this is strictly done here in the South Shore, Long Island, for a couple of reasons. First, we like to show our donors what we do. So a lot of our donors that support us like to volunteer one day a year, which is Thanksgiving, And this gives them an opportunity. We need 200 volunteers, which are broken up into 4 shifts, 50 volunteers per shift. And they bring their children. It's a way of exposing their children to, different values,
Right.
and them seeing that there are indigent people in their local communities.
Yeah.
So we spend all of our energies doing it here. We can make recommendations as we do. A lot of our sport teams, I could use the New York Mets as an example. For many years, when we would work at the Bowery Mission, they would do food recovery for us. We would have players and coaches go to the Bowery Mission with their families to serve a meal, not on Thanksgiving Day, but on Thanksgiving week. One example is Willie Randolph. Willie Randolph was the manager of the New York Mets for 3 years.
And he's a shortstop, wasn't he?
He on the Yankees was
Shortstop or second base?
Second baseman. He was an all-star second baseman.
Yeah, I remember him.
And him and his family would go to the Bowery Mission and would serve meals. He also was, because he is very articulate, he spoke to some of the groups that met there. Most of them were men that are undergoing different stages of recovery, and really would give an exhortation for them to continue on the right path.
Yeah, I've heard him speak on various television shows and features about him.
He was a good friend of ours. And then we had, with the New York Giants, we had 3 different years of their football players coming down to the Bowery Mission and serving meals. So we encourage that, and I get phone calls from other teams across the country if I could put them in touch with agencies that would be serving around Thanksgiving. So we're a resource for them as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but what do you have doing in Los Angeles? Anything?
I'm sure that there are dozens of agencies that are doing just what we do.
Right. Well, as I say, I know the Fred Jordan Mission. That's a big one for. I mean, they're always on the news, and LA Mission. They always have celebrities doing it.
Absolutely.
We're in Hollywood.
Well, we are having at least one politician coming in. We got a call about an hour ago from a state senator, Todd Kaminsky. Todd is the great nephew of Mel Brooks.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do the show, if I remember correctly. Was that Todd Kaminsky?
Right, he was unable to find time.
Right, he was running for office or something.
And he lost that election.
That's because he wasn't on the show.
He would have gotten the extra votes.
Well, so Todd, if you're listening to the show, we love you, but next time you're running, it's a must.
So he still will be state senator for another year. Hopefully he won't get voted out of office. He's been very supportive of our charity. And he'll be there on Thursday to help give out meals.
Oh, good. Well, the thing is, I don't know politics anymore because there's so much gerrymandering. There's so much redistricting. There's almost, that we'll get into at another time, but
right.
It's so messed up.
You know what? I can't be political. So Hunger knows no political parties.
All right.
And we are, we're here, and it is one of the few agencies that have never asked for proof of why you're hungry. When I ran my soup kitchen 25 years ago, I would tell all of our volunteers that if people on the line know we're a soup kitchen and they walk in our door, why would I ask them, why are they there?
Right.
And that is a little bit different than a lot of other places that want to see some kind of ID. Are they getting food stamps? Are they getting support? I'm not a yenta. It's not my business.
You're hungry.
You're hungry, I'm going to feed you. And that's how, and it's very interesting. I had a conversation about this a couple of days ago with somebody that also gives grants out. And one of the things that he is particular about is that he likes to give grants to agencies that are like ours, that are grassroots agencies that are literally walking the walk, talking the talk on the ground. which is how I've always looked at Rock and Wrap It Up.
Mm.
And I don't bite off more than I could chew. I never have believed that I, Sid Mandelbaum, could change you in any way to make you better or worse or stay the same. That's not my job. I've always felt that my job is to let you live another day. That's it. And a lot of people don't believe in that. They say, oh, no, we got to change them and we got to give them opportunities. Okay, you could do that. I don't do that. I work hard to get food. I get people to give it out and say, God bless you. Have a nice day. Next person. That's it.
Yeah, but you also have sort of like a directory that if people want help, that they could go to and find out the help.
Absolutely. But I won't offer it unless somebody asks for it.
All right.
You know, if you want to change, oh my God, I can help you in 100 ways. If you don't want to change, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
As they say, live gesund to hate.
Right. Es gesund hate. Eat in good health.
In good health.
And, you know, it's not that I am turned off by systems, but I really believe that a person has gotten to a point in life that they need a soup kitchen. They need far more help than I could ever offer them. And what I'm there, and as tomorrow, it'll be interesting because one of the things I love about Thanksgiving, when we did it at St. John Baptist Church and First Congregational Church of Rockaway, is that we would have a cohort of people that had nowhere to go. No friends, no family. And we loved that they would sit down, have a meal. We would always get quite a number of students, middle school and high school, that have to do community service. And I remember last year, 2 years ago, a little girl went over to Diane, she was probably in 7th or 8th grade, and said, I don't know these people. How could I talk to them? And Diane said, do you have grandparents? She said, oh, yes. I said, why don't you make believe that they're a grandparent that just doesn't have a grandchild today? And you know what? The kid did. She sat down, you know, and within 5 minutes, there was the kind of discussion that you'd expect. Oh, I like your hair. Oh, where'd you get that dress? The kinds of conversation that made both of them comfortable.
Yeah.
And that is what I want my volunteers to do. There's a certain comfort level that I want both the volunteer and the client to interact with, because if they have nowhere to go, how bad a holiday is Thanksgiving if you have no family? You know, everyone else, you know, is seeing somebody. Everyone's traveling, right? Everyone's traveling this year.
Yeah.
Very big travel week. But what if you have nowhere to go? And all you have to look forward to is getting a free meal from me. So if I'm letting you sit down and just for an hour or an hour and a half, just sit there and be with other people. It's very similar, Malcolm, to my veteran farmers market, where
Yeah.
I have quite a number of veterans that don't have family nearby. They have outlived, in some instances, their kids or their spouses and have nothing to do. And when they come to my farmers market, today's an example. We had our market today. It was about 40 degrees, but the sun was strong. We sat in a sun area where the sun was coming down. I put 8 chairs there, and they just sat there. And we just bullshitted like human beings, talking about a million subjects. And that's the kind of humanity that we need to give people. Because sometimes, let's face it, they lose their humanity if they lose the passion of family.
Well, it's sort of like, but people don't understand, or is not really talked about that much, is the horrors of loneliness, especially like, I mean, now everybody's mobile.
Yeah.
You know, so you might live here, your daughter lives in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And you know, thank God, you know, you have family there, but a lot of people, you know, are widows or widowers, and they're living alone, and they don't see the family. They talk to them, but they don't see them. where they see them, but they're not, they can't touch.
So I had a funny thing this morning, which Friday, I got a call from Costco. Sid, we have 75 cakes to donate. Would you take them? Oh,
no,
absolutely.
only if they're
Absolutely.
only if they're sugarless.
Well, not only were these sugar full, this would be the equivalent of a Turduncan cake. It was a caramel outside, cheesecake, orange layer cake, chocolate cake, all in one cake.
Wow.
And it was called a stuffed STUFFED cake. And it was made by a company, I don't want to say a name. So I pick up the 75 cakes Friday. I bring them to the community center. By yesterday, they're gone. I get a call last night, and last night I went to see my mom because I knew this would be a tough week to see anyone because of our work. I'm driving home. Sid, there's another Costco in Oceanside, not far from where we are. Sid, can you please, hold on 1 second.
Okay, time.
Steph called Diane on her cell phone.
What? Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I said, right, okay.
My wife's sister. So the Oceanside group, I said, I can't come. Yes, I said, I can be there 7:30 this morning because I had a lot of pickups this morning, but I said to her, what do you have? She says, well, I have these 75 cakes. It's the same number of cakes, so I knew there may have been a similarity. I get there and this woman, Kim, who I know for years, says to me, I heard you got these from Lawrence Costco also. I said, yes. So what happened? She says, every Costco in America has a pallet of these cakes and we can't sell them. I said, why not? They said, well, on the box, it says 2 pounds, but we weighed the cake and they weigh 1.5 pounds. And we can't sell a cake that's mismarked.
Ah, okay. So it's not that they can't sell them, it's that they don't want to sell them because it's mismarked. Not packed.
They spoke to the company, who obviously is going to take a loss of hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. And the company just said, give them away. So I picked up another 75 of these Turduncan cakes today, and they're already gone, Malcolm. But this is the kind of luck that we get sometimes.
I should call up the Costco in Van Nuys.
Oh yeah, find out if they have these stuff.
But then again, I don't know what to do with it. I could speak to the American Legion out here and see what they're doing, because they generally give food. They have places to give food. Yeah, veterans.
Right, and we are getting more veterans. We had another 2 today that had not been here before. So by word of mouth, we had over 20 groups come today, and that's a lot of food.
Well, you're also a member of the American Legion, because I've had you on the show with
right,
Commander Pat Alicia.
I am commander of the American Legion post for the last 6 years. Nobody wants the job. I offer it to everybody every year, and they said, no, you do it.
I thought you only could
it's
be
a lot of work, but
I thought you only
I
could
don't
be commissioner for 1 year.
right, commander for 1 year,
Commander.
unless there's no one else that wants it.
And you're in.
And it's funny because the guy before me, he was commander for 20 years because no
Wow.
one wanted it. Nobody wants this job, but it is what it is. And you know what? There is a responsibility involved. I inherited in the post a lot of money. And since I really don't need money, I'm not tempted to take any of this money. Yet there are problems in some American Legion and VFW posts when there are people that have financial issues. They tend to take a salary, take money out of the accounts. And that's why you have to have responsible people.
Yeah.
The gentleman before me, who was there for 20 years, they had sold a building 25 years ago, and they got $300,000 for that building, which they paid in the 1950s, $10,000 for.
Mhm.
I inherited $280,000 that I have in my American Legion account, and I'm very judicious with it. I give scholarships out every year, but I have the money invested well, so it generates $2,000 to $3,000 in interest dividends, because I have to be very prudent with it. I can't put it in risk situations,
Right.
but I could have enough of a return that it basically pays for our expenses. I don't charge my members for their weekly breakfast, their monthly breakfast. That comes out $150 to $200 second Sunday of each month. The scholarships are $500 and $750, and all that has come out of our funds, which we haven't had to fundraise.
Right. As you know, I do a show with Commander Pat,
Right.
and basically what we're trying to do is create more interest in the American Legion, and also get younger veterans to come in.
Absolutely.
Maybe you guys should get together and do some. I mean, some of the problem that Pat has is to get different people, on the show,
Right.
because to get people on the show, and I used to do that, is like a full-time job almost. Is calling up, as you know, with your show.
Yeah.
If there's a way that between both of you could gather like a committee.
Well,
Yeah.
Pat and I work together on a lot of things. Pat runs the farmers market with me.
Right.
This weekend, actually, on Saturday, Pat had the annual meeting of the Rainbow Division, which was held upstate this year. It's normally held in Queens, but every second year they hold it up in Westchester. And I drove 2 of the senior veterans to be honored by the Rainbow Division. This guy, Dominic Creasy, who was on Pat's show.
Right. Yeah.
And Jimmy LaJoy, who is 96 years young and is one of the last surviving Navy people that ferried soldiers to D-Day from England,
Well.
under fire and under Messerschmitts, and Jimmy's a hero, and very, very quiet, subdued kind of guy, but I would put him against anyone, tough as nails,
Well,
at 96, lives on his own.
Wow. Listen, my wife and kids are they went to El Salvador for a week, and I'm on my own. It's difficult after you're used to being around family.
Yep. Well, we have to say goodnight.
Why? Because you got an appointment. I know.
At 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock. Okay. The last thing I say, well, number one, I'm going to get you together. Well, you could get together with Pat, but come up with some sort of things where we could, have a dynamite show about the American Legion and get more recruits on it. We'll get.
I would love to do it with Pat. Absolutely.
Okay. And have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You and your family as well.
And send my love, and thank you for your good work.
You're welcome.
And I'll see you next week.
If you know anyone hungry, we'll be feeding 5 Tag Community Center, 270 Lawrence Avenue from 11 to 2. No questions asked. You're hungry, you'll get a great meal.
Ciao.
Vaya con Dios.
Bye.
Thank you.